If you're a green card holder, a visa holder, or anyone who travels in and out of the United States, this update is already live. As of December 26, 2025, the way non-citizens are identified and verified at U.S. borders has officially changed nationwide. This is not a proposal, not a pilot, and not a rumor circulating online. It is a fully implemented federal policy that now applies at airports, land borders, seaports, and departure points across the country. Millions of travelers are already passing through this new system, often without realizing how significant it is. Welcome to U.S. Policy Updates, your trusted source for the latest news on U.S. immigration, visas, green cards, and citizenship. I am your host, Daniel Brooks. What went into effect on December 26th is the nationwide rollout of a biometric entry-exit process that changes how the U.S. government confirms identity for every non-citizen entering and leaving the country. Whether you're an F1 student, an H-1B worker, a lawful permanent resident, or visiting on a tourist visa, your border crossings are now being recorded in a more precise and automated way than ever before. This system links your travel movements directly to government records in real time, creating a verified timeline of your presence in the United States. In this video, I'll explain exactly what is happening now that this policy is active, who it applies to, and what it realistically means for your travel and immigration status going forward. No fear, no speculation, just clear, verified information so you can understand how this change affects you and how to stay prepared. To understand how we got here, it's important to look at the legal action that made this possible. In October 2025, the Department of Homeland Security published a final rule in the Federal Register formally authorizing expanded biometric collection for non-U.S. citizens. That rule became enforceable on December 26, 2025, which is why this system is no longer optional or limited to select locations. From that date forward, Customs and Border Protection has full authority to use biometric identity verification nationwide. Here's what the rule does in simple terms. U.S. border authorities can now collect facial photographs from all non-citizens at every point of entry and exit. That includes international airports, land crossings with Canada and Mexico cruise ship ports, and even certain private aircraft arrivals and departures. Previous restrictions that limited biometric screening to pilot programs or specific ports are gone. Age-based exemptions that once excluded young children and elderly travelers have also been removed, meaning the system now applies broadly and consistently. It's important to note that this policy didn't appear overnight. Versions of this rule were first proposed years ago, went through multiple public comment periods, and were reviewed under more than one administration. What changed in late 2025 is that DHS finalized the rule and activated it nationwide. As a result, biometric identity checks are no longer an experiment. They are now a permanent part of how the United States manages border crossings for non-citizens. Now, let's talk about what actually happens when you travel under this system. The technology being used is part of what Customs and Border Protection calls the Traveler Verification Service. When you arrive at a border checkpoint or approach a departure gate, a camera captures a live photograph of your face. That image is then automatically compared with photos already stored in government databases, such as your passport photo, visa record, or previous entry documentation. This matching process usually takes just a few seconds. In many cases, it's faster than a traditional manual document check by an officer. Once your identity is confirmed, the system records your entry or exit and links it directly to your immigration history. For travelers who have passed through major U.S. airports recently, this may feel familiar. CBP has been testing this technology for years. What's different now is that as of December 26th, this process is no longer limited to select locations or arrivals only. It is now standardized and applies to departures as well. If the system is unable to confirm a match immediately, you're not automatically in trouble. Instead, you may be referred to secondary inspection, where a CBP officer verifies your identity manually and reviews your documents in person. In some cases, this is resolved quickly. However, it can add extra time to your travel, which is why understanding how this system works and ensuring your documents are accurate and consistent has become more important than ever. It's important to be very clear about who is covered under this policy. The biometric entry-exit requirement applies to all non-U.S. citizens without exception. That includes lawful permanent residents, commonly known as green card holders, as well as all visa holders, students on F1 visas, workers on H1B or L1 visas, exchange visitors, tourists, refugees, asylees, and individuals under temporary protected status. Even categories that previously had exemptions are now included under this standardized process. U.S. citizens are treated differently. While Americans may still encounter facial recognition at certain airports, they retain the right to opt out and request manual inspection. That opt-out option does not apply to non-citizens. This system is being implemented by Department of Homeland Security and enforced operationally by U.S. Customs and Border Protection with a specific purpose in mind. According to DHS, the goal is to strengthen identity verification, close long-standing gaps in exit tracking, and improve immigration enforcement accuracy. For decades, the U.S. struggled to reliably confirm when non-citizens actually left the country, especially at land borders. That created inconsistencies in records and made it difficult to detect visa overstays or see on-firm compliance. With biometric verification now active at both entry and exit points, those gaps are effectively closed. Every crossing creates a verified digital record tied directly to a traveler's identity. For individuals who follow the rules, this doesn't introduce new legal requirements, but it does mean there is far less room for error, missing data, or unclear timelines. Travel history is now precise, automated, and immediately visible to immigration authorities reviewing future applications or border inspections. As with any large-scale technology system, there are practical concerns travelers should understand. While facial recognition technology has improved significantly, it is not flawless. Factors like lighting, camera angles, shadows, or noticeable changes in appearance can sometimes prevent an automatic match. Government studies have also acknowledged that accuracy rates may vary across different demographic groups. When a match cannot be confirmed, travelers are directed to secondary inspection where an officer manually reviews documents and asks follow-up questions. In most cases, this resolves the issue, but it can add delays, especially during busy travel periods. Privacy is another key issue. Under current policy, photographs of U.S. citizens captured during biometric screening are deleted within a short period after identity verification. However, images of non-citizens are retained in federal biometric systems for extended periods, consistent with EXIS. Border record retention rules. DHS has published multiple privacy assessments outlining how this data is stored, used, and protected. While the primary biometric used is facial recognition, the rule also allows for additional identifiers such as fingerprints in specific circumstances, something that has already been standard in many immigration processes for years. For different groups, the impact varies in practical ways. Green card holders should be aware that this system creates a complete automated record of every entry and exit. Extended or frequent time outside the United States will now be clearly documented and easily reviewed during green card renewals or naturalization applications. Visa holders, including students and workers, will also have a precise timeline tied to their authorized stay. Any overstay, even a short one, is now automatically recorded through biometric exit data, making compliance with visa terms more important than ever. Now that this system is active, preparation matters more than ever. First, make sure all your documents are accurate and consistent. Your name, date of birth, and identifying details should match across your passport, visa, green card, and any other official records. If you've had a legal name change, keep documentation readily available and consider updating your immigration records if necessary. Small inconsistencies can cause delays when biometric records are matched against government databases. Second, maintain clear evidence of your ties to the United States, especially if you are a green card holder. Keep records that show the U.S. is your primary home, such as housing documents, employment records, bank statements, utility bills, and school or medical records. Monitor your time outside the country carefully and keep your own travel log so it aligns with official records. Before traveling, always confirm that your passport and immigration documents are valid and that you can explain any extended absences if questioned at reentry. Looking ahead, full implementation of this system will continue to expand over the next several years as more ports and transportation types are integrated. This change is not a travel ban, and it does not create new immigration requirements. What it does is remove uncertainty from border records. For travelers who follow the rules, this will likely become a routine part of travel. The key is staying informed, staying organized, and staying compliant. If your situation is complex or you have past immigration issues, consulting a qualified immigration attorney before traveling can help avoid problems. Thank you for watching U.S. Policy Updates. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to U.S. Policy Updates and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on immigration policy that matters to you. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next update.